Yeah. So moving on to the next question, sir. Being the principal of Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology, what is your philosophy of leadership, and how would you describe your leadership style?
See, my opinion is that the the role or the leadership, it doesn't vary from any firm to firm. It is in general common at every place. And being, I mean, working at Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology and at the position of principal, I feel that my primary responsibility is to understand the student needs, and then be the facilitator to the student, the staff, and uh, every aspect of education which is there, which is happening in the premises of RGIT. So I think I should understand what is the need of a student, and I should be the facilitator to them to fulfill their needs. That is what I feel, that being a leader, this is what my primary role would be.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question, sir. Being the principal of RGIT, as I said, how do you strategize about the key programs and plans for the marketing and administration of your institute?
Yeah, that is a very nice question. Uh, and to brief on it, I feel that there is nothing like marketing which RGIT uh, feels like doing. We don't go in any kind of marketing aspect. However, the remaining portion, the administrative responsibilities or the framing of the strategies, we have a lot of decentralized mechanism here. If you look at RGIT, it has got its governing body, then the principal, and then we have heads of department, we have in charges of the various sections, and the roles and responsibilities are divided accordingly. We have IGC coordinator, we have a vice principal, and then our strategic plans, which are required to be made, which are normally the short-term plans, year-long plan, that is normally done with the discussion or with our meeting, which we take up along with the administrative committee, the senior faculty member, the heads together sit and make a plan, and that we frame it on a typical timeline. That is normally our short-term plan or year-long plan that we take up to have our regular academics, to have our regular extracurriculars to be planned and to be hosted in the institute. Then the another phase of planning, we look in terms of the medium term plan, where we plan for the accreditations, the submission of the various documents which are to be submitted to accreditation, the planning related with it, the documentation related with the regular audits, which includes primarily the academic audit. Then we have the documentation audit. We again go for ISO audits. So for a medium-term plan, we again, our heads of department and all our in charges along with the principal sit and discuss, and we are advised by our management over it, and they provide all the necessary help so that the strategic plans can be implemented. And while we look at the long-term plans, then it is normally with the inclusion which has got involvement of our college development committee, our management, our faculty members, every stakeholder also. We also include in making our plans our students, our alumni, parents, people from the industry, and together we take the input and we develop a strategic plan. So RGIT actually goes in a planning way where we have our short-term plan, we have a medium-term plan, and we have a long-term plan. And while making the planning, we get the inputs from all stakeholders of our institute, and with those input, we strategize the things which further provides us excellent results.
Moving on to the next question, sir. Uh, like, how does the curriculum of RGIT ensure the best practice of the industry?
See, RGIT is an affiliated institution to University of Mumbai, and we have to abide with the curriculum that is being delivered to us from the University of Mumbai. And University of Mumbai takes all the care to have the revisions in the curriculum very time to time, so that it matches appropriately with the company, with the industry. And we have something which is then beyond syllabus, beyond the curriculum, which is the portion of RGIT. So for that, we have interactions done with the industry experts. We take their inputs, and what is that particular gap between the present curriculum and the industry requirement? We then try to bridge it up with delivering those contents which are beyond the syllabus to our students through the lecture mode, through the practicals, so on and so forth, and many more domains, many more dimensions come within it. There, it is only not the academic delivery which takes place with the classroom lectures or the practicals. It has got a dimension other than that where we look at the things that these qualities or these gaps can further, or these kind of skills can be brought into the student by providing them the platforms which come uh, in the domain of extracurriculars and also co-curriculars.
So, moving on to the
Yes.
next question, sir. With the competition so high, how do you guide your students to survive in such a competitive scenario?
See, there is a very we have to understand this thing that competition and survival, are they antonyms, or does they have any relation? We at RJIT believe that competition is one of the reason of survival, and survival in a very good manner. If you are competitive, your survival is excellent. So we put this philosophy in the minds of the students that you make yourself competitive. You exhibit yourself gracefully, happily in the competition. Go into the competition, and while you are into the competition, you ever encounter any kind of failure, do not take any failure as your defeat. It's not a defeat. It is just a stepping stone to go ahead. So we imbibe this philosophy through our curriculum delivery, through our lectures, through our mentoring system that we have in RBIT. That you make yourself competitive, get into competition, exhibit yourself best, understand what are your weaknesses, try to overcome on those weaknesses, try to work on you, and you will be mentored here, you'll be guided here, and then we try to make them understand that competition is one of the reason for the survival in a very nice quality, survival through a very by a very good quality. And that is what we see that our alumni who is now scattered all across the globe, and they are working fabulous in their fields there. And every time they are in touch with us, and they keep on telling about what is going on with them, and we feel very happy when they in this competitive world we see them progressing, doing excellent. So that is what is just the matter of understanding that competition is not uh, something that which is going to take away from your survival. Rather, if you understand competition is a in a positive way, then it's one of the tool for excellent survival.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. Moving on to the next question, sir. As being the principal of the RGIT, how do you tend to establish a healthy relation and environment in your institute?
See, now RGIT is an establishment of 25 years, more than 25 years. And the basic foundation of it has been laid by some torch bearers who were the personalities to whom we can call as torch bearers to the society, to the state, to the nation. So we have that governing body which included these kind of personalities, and they laid down its stone, and they laid down the basic philosophies. They have established actually a mechanism where the relations which are there are of a very positive way. And at this stage, personally myself does not have to put any extra effort to have this relation maintained. So it is like a family that we have here, and we operate in that way. We understand each other. We understand the students' need, the staff need, and that is all our strength. And thus we go ahead. Our relations are being maintained in that way.
Yeah. Um,
Yes.
so, yeah. So, moving on to the next question, sir. As we all know how this pandemic actually affected education sector all over the world. So how does it affected your institute specifically, and how is your institute is dealing with this pandemic?
See, the effect of COVID-19 across the globe is known well to everyone, and it has hit economy in a very large way. But somehow I feel that the economy can be restored. You can have revision of your policies. It can come down at one stage. But somewhere, if its effect on the education uh, could really be very devastating. But here I really would like to appreciate the teachers, all the teachers, teachers from RGIT or teachers from any other institution, the school teachers, the primary school teachers, the school teachers, college teachers, senior college teachers, everyone. I have observed one thing greatly, and also the teachers of RGIT, that the teacher in the field of education has kept the role of the wheel of learning rolling. It has never stopped. During the pandemic also, our teachers went transformed themselves into understanding of a new platform where they never used to be acquainted to with that particular thing. We were traditionally knowing very well the classroom teaching. Go to the classroom, you have your chalk duster and you have your students in front of you, and deliver your lecture. And all of a sudden, this thing came, and I think not more than 10-15 days, our teaching fraternity was ready all the way to take up the lectures in an online mode. Maybe there would be exceptional exceptions that few teachers were already knowing these things very well, but by and large, there was a good number of faculty members who were not knowing. But they got into this process quickly. They adopted this process quickly. At the same time, I appreciate the student fraternity that they also transformed themselves to sit in an online class and take the deliveries there.
Yeah.
So it is really, I really thank, and it is really very a thankful job which they have done to keep the wheel of learning rolling up. So learning was never stopped. Learning was never stopped. The theoretical aspects were delivered to the students through the online mode. Even RGIT, we started our new session by 15th July, and we successfully completed all the syllabus, all the tests, and every aspect of it which is required in terms of a term. Only there is something which uh, which could not be coped up till now, is that practical aspect of it. For practical aspect of it, we actually need the student to be physically available on the campus, and that is what now we have kept this thing as our as something which we have to immediately address by the time the students will start coming.
Yeah.
Now I feel happy that somewhere the metro, the Mumbai, is coming to the normalcy, and maybe in the coming days, if the pandemic comes into under control, we would cover the practical aspects which were left by us. However, the deliveries of the theoretical topics were all done by through online mode. We have many personality development programs also, online training programs also, online internships also brought for the students through our board. The institute has uh, a registered Google platform, and our online lectures are taken through that G Suite, which has been provided by the management to RGIT. So we are going well, though it is a pandemic situation, but our efforts, and we are going well by for keeping that wheel of learning rolling up. Thank you. Yes.
So this leads to me the last question for the day. Sir, any suggestions you would like to give to the current youth and aspiring students?
Yes, of course, yeah. Uh, See, in my experience, if I talk about RJIT, I feel that what is the major strength of RJIT, then its human resource is the major strength. Now, in the human resource, it is all that faculty members, teaching staff, non-teaching staff. It also includes, we believe that we also include that human resource as our students, their parents, our alumni, everyone. Now, here when I look at the student of today, and Actually, we cannot blame for that matter for the students also, because every aspect of life these days are technology driven, and there is this device called as mobile phone which is always with us, and it has got its plus, it has got its minus,
Yeah.
and there is availability of something called as social media there. Social media is an excellent platform or a domain for one to know about the world, or even it helps you with many different aspects.
Hmm.
But there is one thing which every youth of the nation, I believe, should understand, that how much should you engage with the social media, how much should be the content of social media be considered as a right content for you, how you can use social media for your own development, how you can use it for learning, and how much the source from which information is coming to you is authentic. So the youth of today should have that practice or ability to analyze every fact that comes in front of you through social media.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I would advise that the youth should be very careful when they are into the social media, taking contents of the social media, looking into the social media, and many more things which are related with it. That is what my primary advice would be. Then on one more point I would like to talk is what I have seen these days, that no, I always say that a mobile phone is a blessing, no doubt. I never say that it's a curse, it's a blessing, and you are always connected, anytime connected with the world. It's nothing like that. It's one of the best things that has been invented by the experts. But the second thing which I feel is that somewhere the use of mobile phones or computers or laptop has gone to that level that uh, that reading of the book is getting compromised. It's getting less these days. So I feel that students should actually take up the books or use their mobile phones or laptops to read some good literature, the rich literature which is available these days in the public domain also, or from the libraries also. So they should invest some amount of time, which is other than that time which they are giving for their academics, but they should invest some amount of time in learning some good literature which has been given by the great leaders like Swami Vivekananda to the nation and to the world. So that is what my another advice is.
So thank you so much, sir. This was certainly an insightful session.
Thank you. Mm. Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me.